I do remember being inspired by Eleanor Dark's fine historical novel, The Timeless Land. I think I read that when I was about 12, and I do wonder whether it pushed me into history. It was a really inspiring book, and I think it probably finally gave me as a kid, some answers to what was around me. And I've never lost that sense of what went on here, and I want to tell other people about it. I'm a historian and I work mostly in Australian colonial history, which really reaches across Aboriginal history, settler history, convict history, and environmental history. All those things are really important to understand if we're looking at those first years of British settlement in Australia that marked the beginning of Australia's modern history. I'm working on two projects, one nearly finished and one just starting, and they both centre on the Hawkesbury River. This river is extremely historic, it's extremely beautiful, and it's been a peopled place for the last 50,000 years. So it's got a very long human history. And I think my job in the book is to unfold that history over time and see how Aboriginal people lived there for all those thousands of years. They lived right through the Ice Age, and what happened when the settlers arrived and took the land. Last year I found a list in the Mitchell Library in Sydney of over 170 Aboriginal names for places along the Hawkesbury River. Now that is amazing because most of those names were forgotten after the settlers arrived. Slowly over the decades, these names just disappeared. And here was this list. Could not believe it. It was amazing because if we know where these names belonged, we can actually map them again. They could conceivably enter our common conversation about place names. People could be using them again. And that's very important because if you go to the Hawkesbury today, even though there's a 50,000 year history of Aboriginal people there, and they're still there now, and there are lots of archaeological sites, you won't see much about them or their presence or their history in the everyday landscapes. They're just not represented. In Australia, we have the deepest history of continuous human occupation in the world. We have an extraordinary history. And I think it's that is our job as Australian historians, to tell that story well and to tell it in ways that are accessible to people. And we're hardwired for stories, human beings. We love them. We need them. We need history.